Holy mother of God. Twitter has gone to complete ass, and everything around Twitter has just been going right downhill. And if you've been paying attention to the news and stuff, things have been going crazy, especially with Twitter Blue. So, turns out Twitter Blue may have not been the best idea. Giving people a verification badge that has been used throughout all of Twitter to verify that, hey, this is that official person. It turns out changing that and allowing anyone to use it and make their own account verified and have that symbol, especially when you're not even vocal about when Twitter Blue is already out. Like, personally, I didn't even know Twitter Blue was even out. So I was just seeing random people verified when I first got onto Twitter, that like on the 8th or 9th or 10th, whenever it happened. I was like, that's not the actual Nintendo account. Is Rockstar telling me that GTA 6 is coming out soon again? Wait a minute. This isn't right. And so what's going on here is pandemonium. Turns out that was a terrible, terrible idea, because this might, quite frankly, cost Elon a lot more money than he even initially expected it to. So we can for sure probably say that Elon started Twitter Blue, the $7.99 per month subscription model for Twitter, to recoup his losses, probably, because that by $44 billion, we can all concede that was way too much to buy for a shitty bird app. And like, for the most part, it was probably rated more like, I don't remember what the number was. I think it was like around $1 billion or something. And he overspent. Let's just say that he overspent. So we know that Elon was kind of forced into buying Twitter for $44 billion, mostly because he was going to get lawsuit after lawsuit if Elon's check basically didn't cash in. And to recoup his costs, he made Twitter Blue. He didn't make Twitter Blue, but he made it an $8 or $7.99 subscription model where you could get your Twitter official badge. And we can see here now, let me scoot over to this transition. So even Twitter support after the 9th, they saw how bad of an idea it was to actually give people the ability to give themselves a verified symbol. And so they stated on November 9th, we're not currently putting an official label on accounts, but we are aggressively going after impersonation and deception. So basically what the official label is another label to show that you're actually verified about who you are, but not for the verification that you bought Twitter Blue. So essentially, the second one right here, the official check mark that says official on it, that's to take place of the other check mark from before that we all loved and knew. And so they were stating official label on accounts, it won't be put on most accounts because, you know, it's a lot to go through, and it's basically probably most likely the old verification method. And that was before all hell broke loose. And so let's see, you can see that 19 hours later, or at least 19 hours ago from when I was recording this, they wrote, to combat impersonation, we've added an official label to some accounts. So how did we end up here? The way that we ended up here is honestly awesome, and it was the funniest time I've ever seen on Twitter, to be honest with you. It literally blew my jimmies off. My socks were torn off. I was blown away. That's it. That's all. I was blown away. And honestly, we're here to show you some of those things that led Twitter support to write, hey, to combat impersonation, we've added the official label to some accounts. They literally rescinded their words like about 2 days later. And so we can start off with the first one here, Rudy Giuliani. So Rudy Giuliani was one big one that was impersonated. And this tweet right here says, Nancy Pelosi and I do not agree on many things, but them things, thangin', I'll tell you what. So this is in reference to, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's one of my favorite pictures. Nancy Pelosi's bazungas, they're quite massive. Like inhuman almost. And personally, I'm not a big fan of Nancy Pelosi, but I gotta say, this tweet definitely has a point. And so moving on, it wasn't just Rudy Giuliani or a big like right wing people that were being impersonated. It was everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean even brands like Chiquita Brands. So Chiquita Brands' fake account said, "We've just overthrown the government of Brazil." And if you know anything about Chiquita Brands, it used to be what was formerly called the United Fruit Company, I believe. And so they have a shaky past down in Latin America back in like the 50s and such. And they were kind of just there to destabilize stuff. And hey, Chiquita Brands, you literally just got played here by a fake brand account. And as you can see here, like, it has the check mark and everything. It just looks real. And it says Chiquita Brands. Like, the name doesn't even look that fake. Like, it's really believable. It's kind of insane. Other than the Twitter for iPhone part, well, maybe, I don't know if most brand accounts even have that usually. But moving on, we have even Tesla, the actual account of the, it's not the actual account, but it's the impersonation of the company that the CEO actually owns. And it literally, this is probably my favorite. I'm not gonna lie, I'm brown. I've been bullied for this for like all my life. This motherfucker said, "Breaking, a second Tesla has hit the World Trade Center." Yeah, they went there. This one, I'm not gonna lie, the Tesla one's kind of slap. I think I saw some where it was like, it was something about hitting kids with the autopilot stuff with the auto drive on Teslas. Let's not get into it. Let's move on. So not only were there brands and some other people, there were right-wing political speakers and even the United States presidents of America. And so one of my other favorite ones is this President Biden one, where Biden is just saying, "I'm over here stroking my dick. I got my lotion on my dick right now." And honestly, I have never felt closer to President Biden than I have reading this tweet. Don't ask me why. But, and for the Ben Shapiro one, Matt Walsh won't stop calling me and talking about genitalia. Should I do that again with my Ben Shapiro voice? I'll do it with Ben Shapiro voice. Matt Walsh won't stop calling me and talking about his genitalia. That was my Ben Shapiro voice. I hope you guys like that one. Thank you for the applause. Going on, we even have Nestle Death Cult. This one was a little more obvious because the was a little funky. Nestle Death Cult. He just said, "We steal your water and sell it back to you, lol." That's what it is. Even Donald Trump got hit with this. Taylor Swift is slaying it on that new album. Very sick beat. I really like this tweet too. This one was it's really wholesome, honestly. Like, you like Taylor Swift, you like Taylor Swift, and fake Donald Trump happens to like Taylor Swift. And moving on, even fucking George Washington, this dead freaking white ass president that's buried in the ground, who has no access to Twitter, somehow got verified. And that somehow was through Twitter Blue. And he made these statements. The real GWash 1731. I really like that username. The GWash man. I'm gonna start calling George Washington GWash too. "Hello, peasants. I was rolling around in my grave and I have decided to resurrect. Great things to come. Mr. Washington's back? Oh my god." And so these ones coming up are also I have a lot of favorites. I know I said that a lot, but these ones are of game companies. So not only did George Washington, dead historical figures, companies, brands, political speakers, you name it, they not only were they impersonated, video game companies were impersonated, and these ones were a little wild. So I've had this one up for a second. You can see Mario is literally just flipping you off. And it says Nintendo of America verified, but of course the @ is a little funky. Nintendo doofus. That's pretty obvious it's a fake, but at the same time, I don't know how I feel about Mario flipping you off like that, and especially coming from Nintendo of America. And the next one was Nintendo of Europe, and I fucking lost it. White people be watching porn with condoms on. Like, come on. Stop. This is so good. And it's Shadow the Hedgehog. He's not even Nintendo. He's Sega. Come on. Come on, Nintendo of Europe. And this one's username looks so much more real. Nintendo Euro? That would seem believable to be like a brand account. And of course, it has the check mark too on top of it. And so the most famous one, I think, was on 11/18/22. This one's for Rockstar Games, by the way. We will proudly present you to the latest entry in the Grand Theft Auto series. We've been waiting to show this one, GTA 6. They were announcing GTA 6. This one only had 6 likes when it was screenshotted, but I remember seeing this one pretty good. And I'm not gonna lie, these people got really creative with their names, their at names, and most of the time, like if you didn't look twice, you could miss that said Gamcy instead of Games. And if you saw this, you see Rockstar Games checkmark, you don't even you just gloss over that at, and you just read this. You're like, whoa, really, GTA 6? And that's what happened to a lot of people too. And to show proof of that, there were 2 impersonations that actually had a real world effect in the pandemonium it caused. And when I say real world effect, I mean people lost a lot of money when these tweets came out. And so the first one to start off, it's probably like the most famous one so far, is the Eli Lilly and Company tweet, where they were like, we are excited to announce insulin is free now. So you might be thinking, okay, it's literally just a meme, right? Like, why is this so pandemonium causing? Like, first of all, like when you see this, so the ad, it also looked really real. When someone sees this and like, hey, if their family is on, like, they need the insulin, seeing this, like, that's like a game changer. And that's what happened to Eli Lilly and Co. They didn't actually make their insulin free, though. That's the issue, and people got mad. And there's probably some investors that saw this and got really damn angry. And the worst part about it is Eli Lilly and Company, like, none of their brands had anything to do with this tweet on top of that. So it wasn't even a real account, and they felt the effects. And to show you that they felt the effects, if we look at their stock, so keep in mind, this was tweeted on the 10th of November. So we go look at their stock. So in the past 5 days, right, we can see right here, and on the 10th, this is probably like about where the tweet was made, around this time area, where it says November 10th. But then as like the tweet got around, you can see that the next day, bop, it goes from 368 all the way down to 346. That's like $20. That's a massive amount. There's a lot of people who lost money over this. And the worst part about this whole thing is that it's not even the only one. There was another tweet from an account called Lockheed Martini, of course, another fake account, but they are impersonating Lockheed Martin, and they said, we will begin halting all weapon sales to Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the United States until further investigation into their record of human rights abuses. Hashtag WeAreLM, or Lockheed Martin. So if you're these other countries and you're seeing something like this, like popping off, getting around, like, that's a really terrible like sight to see if you're buying from Lockheed Martin like that. And to continue showing that this literally had a real world effect, if you look at their stock, you can see that that one was also tweeted on the 10th of November. If we go over, we're on the past 5 days. Here's November 10th. It looks fine. And when the tweet got around, it was at 490 at its high, and bam, 466 the next day. And then it keeps going. It just keeps going down for now. And in the end, so these stocks are definitely going to go back up because, like, these are successful companies. They are what they are, but these stocks will recover eventually. But these tweets had a real world effect. And so if we go back to that initial picture I showed you with the Twitter support, you can kind of infer why they had to tweet out, to combat impersonation, we've had an official label to some accounts. So these companies that lost this much money in stocks, and all the people that were like affected by this in terms of money wise, they're probably capable of suing Elon. And so he definitely doesn't want that to happen anymore because he's been in enough lawsuits already. And so this was a direct consequence of Twitter Blue having the ability to give yourself a check mark and making yourself seem like a verified account, even though when you're not. And so clearly this wasn't the most thought out move. And to add icing to the cake on top of that, even with the little cherry on top too, and just a little bit of saliva on there as well, just to rub it into your face that this was not a good situation. It seems that Twitter has stopped selling Twitter Blue temporarily. They took it off the App Store, as far as I know, for now, and you can't really buy it. And I believe they're also slowly taking away these blue check marks that you're getting from actually having Twitter Blue. You have all the other ones, but some people are seeing that their check marks are being taken away. And that's honestly probably the only thing that Twitter can do at this point, especially to stop all these accounts from being like this and having real world effects on stocks and stuff. And yeah, honestly, like, it is what it is. Like, we've had the time of our lives. We went on a deep ride where multiple like brand accounts and people and the president of the United States, even 2 of them, in fact, were impersonated. And there were 2 big events that happened with pretty much direct contribution of those fake tweets to lead up to those stocks dropping and people losing a lot of money. So yeah, it is what it is. I just wanted to talk about this because it it's a crazy time that we're living in right now, and quite frankly, I'm kind of enjoying it sitting here in the back. Though I'm not getting any of the direct consequences of any of these people's actions, so that's always helpful too, in order to kind of sit back and relax and enjoy it. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys these funny tweets and also like some of the harmful tweets that hurt some companies. And whether you like those companies or not, it's up to you. Yeah, with that being said, that's all I really had to say about it. All right, guys. Hey, if you guys liked what you saw, drop a like. If you guys disliked it, drop a dislike. Subscribe if you can. And hey, I'm gonna go finish playing God of War. Peace.